Very, very happy to see you again, and welcome if this is your first time in the Rescogita's podcast channel. Rescogita, the ecological startup that aims to have an impact on individuals, on society, and on the biosphere. So remember to follow us on www.rescogita.academy. Now, sit back, relax, enjoy. Welcome to the sixth and final episode of this Rescogita series on values and discovering the spiral dynamics. My name is Lorenzo Nava, and today we will conclude our series by looking at self-realization from the perspective of spiral dynamics. Now, we have explored all the color codes that Dr. Graves created for different value levels. And one question to you, did you ever see a monochromatic person? Of course not, because such a person does not exist. As a matter of fact, the breaking news right now is that what you have read until now is by no means the color value system of a person. Rather, it is the color of the basin, the container, not the content. Within a color value system, there may exist so many more sublevels, as many as per area of life. The simple demonstration is that we are more than sure that as you listen to these podcasts, you will probably identify some of your aspects in the different descriptions. In some parts, some blue description resonated with you. On some others, some red one. In others, an orange one. And that's perfectly normal and natural. A person can have a blue container of a morally and ethically upright and law-abiding citizen, yet in private relationships could be a red dominant into power plays and the winner takes it all kind of attitude, while when playing sports and competitive, the person could be orange, etc., and so on and so forth. So keep in mind that the color, the dominant color that is there in your life and the lives of people you know, is determined by the environment where you are. And within life, we face different environments. And in a certain environment with our friends, with our partners, in work, in our hobbies and activities. And there we can have different dominant colors. So beware that very likely elements of each one of the 7-8 categories Graves described are probably, to certain extents, present in each one of us. So, now a little bit a step sideways, and we're going to look into Maslow. You know, Maslow, the very famous hierarchy of needs he prepared. And Maslow was actually very well acquainted with Graves. As a matter of fact, I think that Maslow was his student at a certain point. So, Maslow and Graves, yes, they lived in the same span of time. And that is when both of them actually created their world-changing models. Maslow's model builds a lot on the world of Graves, except that the latter died before he could complete his work. So much of Graves' work is incomplete. And it was mostly left to his students and assistants to conclude. Well, from my point of view, the work on spiral dynamics is not over yet. There is still a lot more to discover there. So, at some point, Graves became very critical of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, especially consider how this does not quite reflect the reality, though it is a starting point. So, Maslow, in his pyramid of hierarchy of needs, places at the very bottom the physiological needs, and food, water, warmth, shelter. And only once those needs are satisfied, a human can move on to the next level, safety needs, including both physical and psychological safety. And once that is satisfied, the human climbs to the third level, love and belonging needs, a need for affection as well as affiliation. And once that is achieved, can climb to the fourth level, knowledge. And that needs no explanation. And once that is achieved, a human climbs to the fifth level, which is the need for self-esteem, which encompasses reputation, competence, and so on. Once that is achieved, can finally reach the last level, which is the need of self-actualization or self-fulfillment or self-realization. At the very top of Maslow's pyramid hierarchy of needs, the very last stage, pictured as an upward ladder where the needs are satisfied one after the other until one is self-realized. Graves argued with that, saying that there is not a vertical line where one climbs upwards until self-realization. It is a curve, actually, that occurs quite a few times in life. That is, for example, you start a university program. At first, you're facing the nervousness of being out of home, in a new place, looking for a room to rent, etc. You're coming to terms with independence and with new friends, creating a new safety net and a support network. Start to hang out with like-minded people, perhaps even starting a relationship. Then all areas of life are covered and can focus peacefully on the studies and learning and attending lectures. Good marks start to come in, and the degree is obtained on time and with very high marks. Then, walking into a job market, you find out that there are lots of people like you looking for jobs, that there is much you have not learned, much university did not teach you. Entering a spiral of job searching while your friends seem to be on the same boat and as yours, and hang around less with each other. Entering a vortex of loneliness and rejection letters, counting how much money you still have to pay rent. This is Maslow's curve. One climbs up, the other climbs down. Very often the climb down is what we call preparation for the jump, when you leave a value system that does not fit anymore the environment and are ready to adopt a new one. And this is where knowledge of spiral dynamics can actually help you. So imagine this pyramid, this hierarchy of needs, becoming not a ladder but a roller coaster, where one satisfies all the needs, reaches the peak, and then starts a slow climb down, where seems we don't know enough, the self-esteem goes down, loss of sense of security, and then comes the transition into the new environment, where everything restarts again and again and again, multiple times during life. So, this is basically it for what concerns spiral dynamics, and tribute to Dr. Graves for coming up with this mind-blowing theory, which honestly deserves to be known better across different levels of society. And with this we complete the series as well. So we would like to thank you very much for being with us today and in our previous episodes. And we look forward to hear your thoughts and impressions on this podcast. And of course, you're more than welcome to follow Rescogita on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and of course on our website, www.rescogita.academy. So, if you enjoyed what you heard, let us know. As well, if you want to suggest topics and themes for our next series we will be doing, we'll be more than glad to hear from you, and if we can, to meet your needs. Thank you once more, and please do take very, very good care of yourself. Goodbye.